It's my college. I was very so happy when I saw so many of my friends with the beaming faces. I started walking a bit early to save time. I will be presenting my paper than making an extempore speech, though it is very much not in my instinct to read a paper. That is to save time. Otherwise, I am sorry, I may go astray. The 2016 American presidential election is an unprecedented one in the annals of American history. It is held in the backdrop of turbulent time at home and abroad. Internally, America is troubled by continuing economic recession, rate of unemployment unparalleled in recent history, social tension, specter of insecurity, and a general sense of despondency. Externally, terrorist war in Syria, Iraq, and Libya, US ignominious exit from this region and Afghanistan with its mission unfulfilled. And US pride today remain bruised. The issues and themes in this background have to be examined and analyzed. Therefore, it is imperative also to evaluate the personality, their ideological inclinations, and style of the candidates. About the main themes and issues. Seldom in recent history of America was the presidential election fought so fiercely and on challenging and contentious issues. Never before America had faced such problems. Globalization and liberalization were pushed across the length and breadth of the globe aggressively. Ironically, the early victim of this process happened to be the godfather, sponsor, and promoter, that is USA. Most of the economic and social ills plaguing American society today were triggered by the recession. The American foreign policy with a military edge got a drubbing when it had to pull back its army from the West Asia and Afghanistan, leaving a trail of dreadful terrorists in this region. With all these, and by all these, there is a discontent with American establishment, people losing their faith in the credibility and efficacy of the government are compelled to make a reordering of their political thinking. So I like to dwell on four themes, four subtitles. The disgruntled America, anti-establishment sentiment, reordering of political thinking in America, and lastly, of course, I may, if I get time to touch upon the standard of campaign that is going on in America. Disgruntled America, the party primaries, the emergence of candidates to the central stage, and the exit of certain contestants are the reflection of the general discontent that exists in American society today. The relevance of the candidacy of Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders, the midway eclipse of the Republican Party favorite like Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio, the shaky position and the suspect credibility of Hillary Clinton are all the reflection of American discontentment with the establishment. I mean both the government and the party. The American discontent is the cumulative effect of the fallout of recession, unemployment, unequal income, low wage, insecure wage, social strife, and health insecurity. Anti-establishment sentiment. The disgruntled sense has led people to develop an anti-establishment thinking. Establishment means both the political system and political parties. They question the capacity and credibility of their government establishment. This rebel thinking has extended to the party establishment also. Party members and supporters believe that their parties are controlled and managed by a coterie of power brokers and power mongers. The phenomenal rise of Trump, a ruthless realtor, scorning the party leadership, is the manifestation of people's disgust with the party and government. Trump was all through his primary campaign critical of the party managers, challenging their supremacy, and despite their covert and overt opposition, I mean the party, to him, he emerged undisputable victor, outclassing and outwitting all other party establishment candidates. Thus, he has skillfully coined the slogan to make America great again. This is to nullify the regime of Obama. Thus, Donald Trump is exploiting the public's anti-establishment mood to his electoral advantage. The emergence of Bernie Sanders as a political challenge to Hillary Clinton in the Democratic Party is also a rebellion against establishment. He questioned the credential of his party as a democratic institution with the superpower of the superdelegates. In the selection of the party nominee, these superdelegates form and act like an oligarchy in the party establishment. There is a considered opinion among the supporters of Sanders that the party was unfair to him and that the official core of the party inadvertently worked against him. His criticism of the political establishment is summarized in the slogan, "A New Revolution," calling for reorienting the political, economic, and social structure of America. Reordering and reorienting of American political thinking. Problems unleashed by the economic and financial crisis and the blemishing of superpower stature of America have made the people of this country to make a review and a rethinking on their political belief. traditional political values and principles are questioned in the protectionism of Trump, welfareism of Hillary, and the new revolution of Bernie Sanders. They propose a new dimension for the role of the government. Liberal, libertarian, conservative ideologies represented by Cruz and Marco Rubio got a drubbing in the primaries itself. The new political thinking revolves around the role of the government, a more positive, active government. And that government is to ensure the realization of substantive freedom to the larger society. Trump's slogan like First America, American wealth and job for Americans, and his anti-immigration policy, protectionism, and veiled criticism of American military engagement abroad, in his own words, to export freedom, all point to a reorientation of American policy. Popularity of Trump does not lie on his personality or on high behavioral and attitudinal culture, but his slogans make populist appeal. New political thinking is an offspring of the new national temper of America. Then let me just go through the perception of candidates and their policy program. As far as Trump is concerned, his policies are a loose bundle of contradictions. His social policies are divisive, economic policies un-Republican, and foreign policies unconventional. On economic and social issues, he deftly employs the blame theory. Donald Trump, with Machiavellian tenor and temper, put the major blame for American ills on immigrants. Presently, his main targeted communities are Mexicans and Muslims. He declares that American wealth and jobs are being snatched away by these non-American outsiders. He brands the Muslim community, as potential carriers of terrorism. Therefore, he proposes that upon his entry to the White House, he will order the deportation of the illegal immigrants, block the entry of the dangerous elements, meaning the Muslims, and keep strict surveillance on this community. This sounds like social cleansing. Trump's racialism is un-American, and the repudiation of its multicultural values. This is a ploy of Trump to appease the white majority at large and the middle level and the upper class in particular. In short, his social policy is divisive, racist, and exclusive. Then coming to his economic policy, I may sum up as protectionism, anti-globalization, pro-rich and big business. Donald Trump's economic policy package is, as I said earlier, full of contradictions. He is a protectionist in trade relations, call for the repeal of trade agreements like Trans-Pacific Partnership, Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, a free market crusader internally, advocate heavy tax on foreign goods and the reduction of, but for the reduction of taxes for the goods and services made in America. He also advocated selective issue of job visas. From all these, it can be concluded that Trump is anti-free trade, anti-globalization, and a protagonist of protectionism. Trump represents a particular brand of American cultural and economic nationalism. Then about Hillary Clinton and her policies or policy projections. Status quoism, inclusive, multicultural, welfarist, globalist free trade. Being an integral part of democratic regime led by Obama for the last 8 years, Hillary Clinton is committed to the continuation of Obama's legacy. In the social sphere, she represents the traditional democratic ethos of inclusiveness, multiculturalism, and tolerance. On the economic front, Hillary wants to maintain status quo with globalization and free trade. Obamacare, the much acclaimed and celebrated policy of the Obama regime, is the welfarist tag of neo-democrats and will continue to be the core policy. Then foreign policy, I don't talk much, I think, but I like to remind you that it is a policy from aggressive military interventionist to moderated restraint that has taken place in the last 8 years. And Trump, if you go through all his slogans like First America, America wealth for America, the heavy tax on imported goods, I think he may be, or he is, calling for the old policy of isolationism. His foreign policy also projects the US to be a self-centered and non-active internationalist. Coming to the last point, just something about the quality of the campaign. I think it is a theater of mudslinging. Presidential election of 2016 is unique with low-level campaigning. It is reduced to a reality show of slander-mongering, name-calling, reckless accusations, deceptive rhetoric, challenging and even threat-wielding. It is shocking that in a highly developed democracy like America, it has become a stage for this drama enacted by demagogues with full of sound and fury, scripted in rhetoric, slandering, half-truth, gimmicks, and with sufficient melodramas. Scandals of nexus between power and financial dealing are not scarce. Illegal financial deal seems to be justified in making good fortune who becomes a successful man. Personal and personality attacks, allegations and allegations are used as the main ammunition for propaganda. The candidates leisurely engage in trivial issues than serious national international issues. In short, the campaign is an exercise of trivialization, and serious debate and discussion are sorely missing. Lastly, if Hillary Clinton overcomes successfully Trump's hysterical populism, she will shoulder a historical mission of redefining and reorienting of American social, economic, and foreign policy perspectives in the context of fairness, equity, honor, and social harmony. If Trump enters the White House, he will be a challenge to the hitherto American values. Future history, watch with a lot of anxieties the result of November election. Thank you.